Good Monday morning. Gracie had a little excursion the other day. She apparently, a worker was here, and when he left, he didn't close the front door. And I had been outside, or here on the porch, having some time with the Lord, and did not know that she had gotten out. So when I realized it, and she has not been shaved as punishment, she's shaved because she has really bad allergies and she had matted herself to death. When I realized she was missing, of course, the first thing you do is you go screaming around the house to try to find her, and she's not there. And then you get in your car, you run around your yard, and she's not there, and then you get in your car and you head up the street having no idea what you're going to discover. And I had two precious friends here, and they went looking. Philly got in his car, and I am screaming her name as I'm wailing, and your mind goes 1,000 places. And in the middle of all of that chaos and mayhem, a man rode by, and I could tell he was looking for something and someone, and I immediately said, "Have you seen a little dog?" And he said, "Yes, I found her. I got her. I took her up to the one of the office complexes in our neighborhood." And I virtually fell in the man's arms and hugged him and thanked him. And he said, "She came right to me." I said, "I'm sure people are her love language." So I get to the office, and there are 4 women in there, and they've already renamed her to Chewy because she reminded them of Chewbacca. And they had all the plans set out for her if they could not find her mom. And as I've just been pondering that and all of the happenings of last week, and we've had happenings in our nation, we've had happenings in our own personal life and journeys with others, and I was reminded of when news comes, things happen that are so shocking that we have these involuntary responses that are so human. We have franticness, fear, deep shock and horror, and we have confusion and anger. And all of these are the natural responses in moments like that. It's just human. I think sometimes we don't allow ourselves grace for our humanness, especially as believers. Sometimes we'll beat ourselves up for having human emotions, but it's normal. It's just normal. The challenge is allowing yourself the humanness of our emotion, but yet stopping at some point you have to stop the intense emotion to quiet yourself and hear the Lord. And I know this in my own story, separate of Gracie, when there have been moments in our lives where our hearts are flailing in our emotional reactions. I have to hear from the Lord. And there are 2 things in moments like that I have to go back to. One is I need to hear from the Lord before I hear from others. Proverbs says, "Where there are many words, there is much sin." And it's true. And it's not always that people have wrong motives or bad intentions. Sometimes their intentions are good, but we all funnel our life through our own experiences and perspectives, and those aren't always accurate to where we are. And so I try to silence the voices around me, and I need a word from the Lord. I want to hear what the Lord says. And you cannot hear from the Lord without quiet. And there's a beautiful passage in Psalms 131 that says, "Surely I have stilled and quieted my soul, like a weaned child at its mother's breast is my soul quieted within me." And if anyone's ever encountered a nursing child, when its mother comes in the room, can be great flailing for their need. But when you have a weaned child, it can lay its head on its mother's breast with such peace and confidence and quiet. And I remember years ago a pastor friend telling me, quiet before jumping. And that has always stayed with me ever since he said that. Our hearts, when not anchored by the Spirit of the Lord and a word from the Lord, can be very emotional, sources, lacking a word. So we have to be anchored in the Lord. So the greatest thing that we need is not all the other voices, not saying there's not wisdom in a multitude of counsel, but the first counsel I want to get is from the Lord. I want to hear his voice. And we live in a day and age now where we're seeking other people's voices frantically. Culturally, social media, Twitter, all of our environments, we are snatching for other people's voices. And I just go back so often when there are many words, there is often much sin. And so I just say that the human emotions are normal in moments of extreme shock. They're all normal. Can't beat ourselves up for that. I can't beat myself up that I was a crazy woman when I could not find my pup. But if she had not come back that night, I would have had to have had something from the Lord to anchor my flailing. And no human's words could have given me what a word of the Lord could give me. We're a people in need of words from the Lord. I had a friend that used to say, before I go to the phone, I go to the throne, meaning Jesus' throne. And that's a good word for all of us, no matter where we're walking through. It could be that before I go to the phone, I go to Jesus, or before I go to Twitter, I go to Jesus. Before I go to social media, I go to Jesus. Lord, what is your word here to me? Quiet before jumping. Surely I have calmed and quieted my soul, like a weaned child at its mother's breast is my soul quieted within me. Ultimately, the greatest voice we need is Jesus' voice on this Monday morning and any other. If your heart was encouraged today, please know that we have many other resources available for you. You can discover all of those at reclaiminghearts.org.